With regards to new implementations, where do you see most organizations, where's their biggest hang up? Like, where do they get stuck? Is it that communication piece? Is it something else?
Being committed to the guiding principle.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that those organizations that I have worked with, wow, this is kind of weird. Well, this room just confused me. I could have ended up in the wrong place, but there's lanes changing. I'm good though. But I think that those that do well really have a strong adherence to those guiding principles, and that is led by the highest levels of the organization, so that the CEO is saying we're going to stick with these principles, and ultimately as decisions come up, they make the right decisions based on the guidance. But if you pick good guiding principles and you can stick to them, you're going to be successful.
And when they're picking these guiding principles, is that something that also comes completely from the top down, or do they get buy-in from some of the lower levels before they just push that out to everyone, or is there a more defined way of looking at that?
I think most organizations, as they're deciding these guiding principles, it's decided from a kind of like in between. So they're usually decided by the leadership team with feedback from other important stakeholders. So, for example, I know when they created the guiding principles at Integra, the leadership team helped form them, but part of that group that made the decision were the physician leaders, because it was very important at Integra that the physician had input, buy-in, and a stake in this process, as it is, I believe, in most organizations, because physicians are an important team.
Sure. Have you ever had an implementation stop short or fail? I'm not sure what the exact term is for that, but do you understand what I'm asking there? Like not completely be implemented?
No, not a full implementation. I will say that I have had where certain aspects were developed and then were stopped short because of a lack of engagement, and quite honestly, that piece was just not important, so it wasn't worth putting huge number of resources into one tiny aspect of the goal line. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I published this, but there's this one doctor kills, and I think it changes towers, so just call me back.
Okay.
When I do, but this one doctor is the only ophthalmologist that's on the system, and he was just a jerk and didn't want to do it, didn't want to learn, and the Integra's really bent way over backwards and spent a ton of money trying to get him to go live. And my recommendation to them was back it out. He's only an ophthalmologist. The amount of information he's going to give to the record is minuscule. It's not even necessary. Anything that he's going to do, someone else's family doc can add that. And wait until he begs you to be on the system. Then we'll send another team out. But I'm telling you, we probably spent $100,000 trying to get him happy with the system, and they ignored my recommendation, continued on for 4 weeks to get him happy. He's now asked for the sun, the sky, the moon, and the Atlantic Ocean, and he's still not live. And what are we going to do to get him live? And I said, I've already given you my recommendation. I think you need to wait till he's edged for you to have this. And they're kind of seeing like that's where they're going to be because, you know, it's like having a 2-year-old and giving them candy before every meal, and then he expects a bag of it.
Well, I can definitely see how that would be a problem, and just feeding that for the longest time, and then all of a sudden really cracking down. Doesn't work like that. Whether it's with children or doctors, apparently. I'll make sure I don't publish that last line. Oh man. What are some of the untapped areas of opportunity that you see that the people are or aren't pursuing right now? And this can be with regards to implementations or just healthcare IT in general.
Before we go to that, let me tell you the other thing that I think. I said another one that I wanted to come back to, and that was that they don't understand. You know, they want to go to San Francisco, and they end up in San Diego.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
With your second question, thing that they don't tap into.
Yeah.
One of the challenges with implementing, and what I'm going to say is not politically correct, so we'll have to.
We can reword it. Yeah.
Yeah. So these software companies have been doing this for a long time, and they think that they know what they're doing. And from much of what they do know what they're doing. They have a process, they have a project plan, they have, you know, some guidance involved in that. But when you look under the hood, so that looks really nice. It's a pretty package. It's like buying, you know, a BMW 750 IL. I used to have very nice company. But when you look under the hood of their implementation tools, you know, the Epic motto is good is the enemy, or better is the enemy of good enough. And their tools are just not very accurate or thorough. So you get a project plan that somebody copied from some other organization's project plan, which doesn't have the dates right, and it doesn't have everything that falls in order correctly. And the decisions that you're making don't even make sense to be making those decisions at this point. And so you're doing tons of cleanup. So it's a big problem. Burn a ton of money trying to clean up the basic tools and get the decisions that they need to make in line to implement the software. And if they had, that's one of the things that I help with, but they actually need to find even there is this beautiful animal out in the, I travel to Flintfield, and I go this way because it's so pretty, and it's just miles and miles prairie grass.
That sounds like a nice drive.
It is just gorgeous. This is natural prairie grass, and it's just beautiful. But there's nothing out here. And there was this cow, I think it was a cow, but it was a white cow, and it was walking up the hill. It's just so pretty. Anyway, I'm going to come back to that.
That's all right.
And so people burn all this money just cleaning up the stuff that shouldn't need cleaning up, or they also the other issue is they have these very young, bright people who work for the software company, but they have no depth. They have no experience. They don't know healthcare. They know only what they have been told. So they're little parrots. And you don't know if the person who told you had any depth or knowledge because they're parroting what they were told. And they can't think critically, processing the information that you need to process in a healthcare environment. And so I think the opportunity that people lose is having some seasoned consultants. And people don't like the consultant word, but if you have a few key seasoned consultants to help guide your project leadership team and your project analysts, and also your project management team that's managing the project plan, you would save a ton of money. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit, but the amount of money that you would, I can't tell you how many things I have done to almost every week. I mean, last week, somebody told me, what you just found, really, you need to ask for a rate because you just picked up on something. And this happens almost every week.
Wow.
And they've now implemented, I mean, they're beyond even implementation. They've done all of their ambulatory and their first inpatient. We're working on the big hospital now. So, it takes a long time. There's so much to learn. I learn something new every week. And I've been implementing Epic since 2005. You just can't have